Hello, hello, and happy Monday. It's Kardashian here with another video. How was your weekend? My weekend was... I had a Friday night sleepover, which was so fun. So fun. Wonderful. But weekend was pretty good. Let's get right to it. This video is about the history of shadow work. Okay. I have taken several master courses on shadow work. And what I found out, the information is there online for you. It's all free. People structure it together and then charge you, which can be a value, but you don't need it. You don't need to spend $150 unless you want to get that master certification, which I have two from two organizations, which I'm not going to to advertise because I'm not going to, because I do feel like it kind of was a little bit of a ripoff for me, but I think it's good to know. Okay, so let's start off with shadow work. What is shadow work? Okay, shadow work, basically your shadow is you. It's a part of you that your personality, it's a part of who you are, and it's a part you're either ashamed of or you suppress. And quite often your ego does it. But that's here nor there. Okay, Carl Jung, most notorious, he was, and I am reading a lot of this because I wrote notes. Carl Jung is Swiss psychologist that's known extremely well for his work with shadow work. He talks about the 12 archetypes. And there's first of all, before we talk about the archetypes, there's categories of archetypes. There's ego. There's order. Ego is just, like, the archetypes fit into 4 categories of cardinal orientation. These orientations describe an outcome of a specific nature that the architect seeks to realize. The 4 cardinal orientations are ego. Ego is to put a mark on the world. Order, to provide structure to the world. Social, to connect to others. Freedom, a yearning for paradise. We see the influence of these patterns in your own experience. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you, Carl Jung, very, 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 very well-known Swiss psychologist, whatever. He developed a 12 architect and a whole thing, most known for his shadow work. We have the ruler, okay? We have the creator, the artist. We have the sage, the innocent, the explorer, the rebel, the hero, the wizard, the jester, the everyday man, the lover, the caretaker. Now, you can, for different parts of your life, you can go into different roles, different archetypes. And you also can be more than one. And it's up to you to find out through questions and answers. And there's all kinds of stuff online you can do. Like, what kind of architect am I? The ruler is like control. You want to control and you want to maintain wealth and well-being for themselves. The ruler its greatest fear is being overturned. So the ruler is just what it says. It's a ruler, control, afraid of being overturned. Sometimes they abuse power, sometimes they don't. Architects are not always negative. They can be, they cannot be. Okay, then we have the sage, the philosopher, the advisor, the expert, right? So the shadow can manifest an overanalyzed, a lack of action, forever learning, yet not applying the knowledge. The biggest fear is defeat or ignorance and a tendency to be misled by false promises or truth. So that's the sage. Then there's the innocent, which goes, the innocent can be naive. I mean, to each architect, there's a negative and a positive. Like we have the innocent, the sage. You can have the sage, so you got the sage. Then you got the explorer. And their goals can be often quite high. Then we have the rebel. Rebel goes without saying. You try to go against the grain, against the norms of society. The hero. Always trying to come in and take charge. The hero has control too. The hero has control, and the hero comes in to, they're afraid of their enemy, the hero. Then there's the wizard. Is associated with magical and spiritual perception. The jester, also known as a trickster, practical joker. Always the joker, And again, sometimes they can, not all jokes are good. Sometimes people are the butt of jokes, right? Not always good. The everyday man. The everyday man, also known as your neighbor, security, acceptance, belonging. The everyday man seeks to create a community. It's also down to earth, very down to earth person. Sometimes the everyday man can be taken advantage of. Okay, then we have the lover. The weaknesses can include abuse in relationships, all kinds of stuff. Then we have the caretaker. And the caretaker is someone that, could be, takes care of a lot of people, makes sure things are in order. But also the caretaker sometimes doesn't set boundaries and has people have them do everything, So they're the 12 archetypes. And it's up to you to find out what you are. What architect are you? That's the first step. What architect are you right now in your life? What architect have you been? And also, with every architect, there's a positive and a negative to it. Do you like my dragon nails? They're really cool. Yeah. Dragon nails, look, dragon nails. And they've got like little egg thing looking gray thing, see? It's pretty cool, right? So again, shadow work begins with you going deep inside. You don't need, you got all the resources on the internet for free to learn about. If you want to know more about the history of shadow work, you can go to Google and do it. Now, the next video, I'm going to start with techniques of how to bring out your shadow work. Right now, let's learn about it. What's the history of shadow work? Right? What's the history? Again, let's put a person who's in the news right now, Diddy. If we were to look at Diddy and his architect, I would see Diddy as being, only from what I see in the news and what's alleged and all that stuff, I see Diddy as being, I don't see him as an artist or creator. I think he brings people together. So I think he's more of a leader. But I do think, as we see this lawsuit, the control, the leader aspect, or would he be the ruler? Would he be the ruler? I'm sorry, not the leader. He'd be the ruler. And the ruler core desires to control and has intention of men maintaining power in order to create prosperity, wealth, and well-being for themselves and people they represent. They work towards the greater good as opposed to personal gain and authoritarianism. The ruler likes order, and their greatest fear are chaos and being overthrown. The shadow aspect of this architect may show up as the evil dictator. In individual sense, the ruler's shadow abuses power and personal relations, tend to control and bring others in line with their agenda. I think he's definitely the ruler, and I definitely think he's the rebel. I think he's the rebel, the ruler, and that's what I think he is. He might be considered the lover, but he might be considered a lover too. But I'm saying I would definitely say he's the ruler and the rebel. Rebel, because let's face it, some of the allegations that brought, and some of the, he's rebel. He's going against the norms of society. The freak-offs were kind of crazy. So, what type of architect are you? Leave me a comment. I think I'm the caretaker, and I have been the ruler with my children at one point. I'm no longer the ruler. I'm the ruler with my animals, and I help my husband, so I could be considered a ruler there. But I think that's more of a caretaker. I'm the caretaker. I'm a caretaker. Definitely a caretaker. Again, See you on the next video. I'm going to do a series, so don't just go to all these little videos, and it's free. It's going to help you work through things. You have any questions, you want to be worked with or anything, feel free to DM me. See you on the next video. Oh, do you like my hair? Oh, I know. It's like a yellowish. It's like mustard. I love it. And I was going to like change it a little bit. I'm leaving it the way it is. I love it. So talk to you soon on the next video.